right before your eyes. This is happening. Your 10-year-old, your 11-year-old, all are sexually active now. Your 10-year-olds come home to me that I'm going to visit my woman. You know? This is your woman. I mean, this is common now. I'm not exaggerating. They have changed your perception of children, changed your perception of raising children, and music has changed the children's perception of childhood right before your eyes. You watch them throw the spinning top away, throw the marbles away. All of the little innocent toys, you watch them cast all of that aside. And the schools giving your 10 and 11-year-old daughters birth controls and contraceptives right before your eyes. And you say, and tell your daughter if she gets into conception and decides to have an abortion, she does not have to come and inform you. And you don't see that. Right before your eyes, because a corrupt tree has to yield corrupt fruit. Now that's not corruption, but they have changed your perception of corruption. You just relate to it as modernity. Growing up. Well, when I was a child, we didn't do it, but it's different now in this generation. Times have changed. Everything that they have told you to say in order to remain under the perception of deception. Am I exaggerating? Any of you got any 10, 11-year-old children? They've been transformed right before your eyes. Right before your eyes. The perception of deception. And one of the tools, music. 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 And they're just boogieing their way into hell. Right before your eyes. They change your perception of music. They change your perception of decency. You got to hear the Father. You got to hear the Father. Much is at stake. All that I'm saying to you is that if we don't make an effort, we'll never get our children back. They're not going to give them back. We'll never get our woman back. We'll never get our men back. We'll never get that wholesome environment back. Except that we, first of all, understand what it is that we must do. We can never do it. You can never perform that which you don't understand that is necessary. You're under the influence of the perception of deception, music. What do they care? If they give some of those youngsters millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. They make them millionaires. But look at the benefits. For the system, it is worth it. They're influencing 40 million people. So they give 15 or 20 or 30 of them $1 million. That's the payoff for bringing all of you under the influence of corruption right before your eyes. Right before your eyes. You see it and can't perceive what you're looking at. You hear it. You hear it. And you can't perceive what they're saying. Because I know that dead, loss of consciousness. Because there's no way you would allow that music to be played in your home if you were conscious. But that bears witness. The reason you allow that is because you've lost consciousness and accept that you are resurrected. You will continue under the perception of deception. Music, chemical, all of this we're talking about. These are the tools of perception engineering. And what what they give those youngsters is simply the payoff. That's simply the payoff. Don't you feel that when you look at the fruit, don't you feel too that it's worth it to control 40 million people, to take your children from you, to market your children, to take childhood from them so that they never have to worry about the coming generation? It's worth the investment to make some of them millionaires. What do they care? What do they care? Pleading with you. You got to hear. They're not going to give us our children back. They're the ones that took them away. And you keep saying, someone continues to tell you that things are going to get better, things are going to get better, just keep on going. But stop for a moment. 20 years ago, things were better. 30 years ago, things were better. 40 years ago, things were better. And someone is telling you as you watch the continuous deterioration, the continuous degeneracy, and they're telling you to keep on. Someone is desirous of you to continue down that path. But the prophets, your prophets have instructed you to do what? Stop and seek ye the old path. Stop and turn around, for things won't get better for us until we head back to the Genesis. Back to the Genesis. It's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. Speaking of truth, we have, the youngsters here, have what we refer to as the sacred truth scrolls. Sacred truth scrolls. That they have them here. And we only have maybe 24, 25. But I expect you to take those 24, 25 home with you. Because those scrolls, if you put them upon your walls and observe them daily, they will be a source of inspiration and power. Inspiration and power. We refer to them, like that the booklet company that I was reading from, as the sacred truth scrolls. In this generation, you got to come back under the influence of truth. Nothing is more sacred than truth. And if you put those scrolls upon your walls, they will provide you with a daily source of inspiration and power, because your power is in truth, submerged in truth. That's why they're keeping you under the influence of lies. The influence of lies, under the perception of deception. Music, you're hearing it blasting over the waves every day. And you can't hear it. You can't hear it. Because if you could, you wouldn't allow it. I recall when I was a child, not long ago. It was a record that came out. Now, I know that many of you aren't going to identify with me on this now, but some of you remember, that not so long ago there was a record that came out when I was a child, and it was called Annie Had a Baby. And it was about a group called the Midnighters. Any of you here remember the Midnighters? I see it. And the record came out and said, "Work with me, Annie." You know what? They banned those tunes from the airwaves. They banned those tunes from the airwaves. And that was child's play to what they're saying today. Then you insisted that they not play that music over the air. And they stopped playing. And today, things are getting better. Your ears are getting dumber. Your eyes are getting dimmer. And someone is telling you that things are getting better. Things have never been worse for us. Never been worse for us. But they've changed your perception of yourselves, of worship, of God, of food. You got a false perception of fuel for your soul. So